97.1. It's just something about Kenny Cott. Telling people to keep their pimp hand strong. Makes your Friday great.
Well, Kenny, you think Black History Month, you think Kenny Cott.
Of course. Taking a bow over there. 97.1. We made it to Friday. Rico, there have been stories about Jared Goff extensions, potentially Amon-Ra St. Brown extensions, and I sat down and I wanted to determine who are the guys who are irreplaceable on this team. The guys that when they come up, you're going to find a way to extend them. You'll do what you have to do with the salary cap. It's make-believe anyway. Now, you can't have a dozen guys because at some point you got to pay the piper, but I came up with a core 4 for the Detroit Lions moving forward. Any other name is debatable and negotiable, but the 4 guys to me that I'm offering up a contract extension the first chance I can are
Penei Sewell.
Yep.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep, 2 for 2.
I know this list, so I'll just go ahead and give it to you. Jared Goff.
Yep. Quarterback, it's an important position you can't do without.
And you're going to say Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yes. Those are my core 4. Costa's core 4. Hutchinson, Sewell, St. Brown, Jared Goff. Your franchise tackle in Penei Sewell. I think he is the heart and soul of this team.
No argument.
He's a leader. He's elite.
Yep.
He's a mauler.
Yep.
He's the dude breaking him down in the huddle.
Yep.
He is a pillar.
Yep. No matter what, you keep him at all costs.
He might be one of one. Aiden Hutchinson, your only pass rusher.
Hold on. David, am I allowed to speak upon this? Because you know I didn't go to the other school.
Oh, come on.
Don't do that. Yeah, you can talk on whatever you want.
No, yeah, he's one.
Well, I know when you talk about Hutchinson, people...
They hear what they want to hear.
They know.
And the funniest thing was I remember when everybody jumped off the bandwagon like, he's not playing his right position. Move him around, he'll be good. Guess what they did? Moved him around.
Yeah, this guy's a double-digit sack guy.
But to answer your question, absolutely.
Okay.
So you're 2 for 2 so far.
2 for 2. Jared Goff. I think the debate is largely over. As someone who once waged the debate as loudly and obnoxiously as anybody at our radio station, I have laid down the sword. Jared Goff deserves an extension. There's some stability at that position. He went out and proved it in the postseason. Let me just finish with St. Brown, and if you have an issue with both, fine. St. Brown, to me, is everything you want a Detroit Lion to be. He is reliable and dependable. Third downs, red zone, gotta have it. Who did they go to clinch their first playoff win in 30 years? Number 14, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He will block. He will chip. He'll go to the jugs machine in his free time. He's as hard a working player, as gritty, as scrappy a player, and as productive a player as the Lions could hope for in that position. No, he's not 6'5". No, he doesn't run a 4.3 40, but he produces just about as well as anybody not named Chase and Jefferson among NFL receivers. I think he is a critical piece, and this offseason, going into his final year, I think they should get something done with him too. Now, you guys tell me, is 4 too many? Is 4 not enough? Do I have the wrong 4? Who are the players that when we have these conversations on the station, that you go, oh, guys, it's not a question of how much we're going to get it done? 248-539-9797.
I like your 4. 2?
You don't love the 4, though.
I don't love your 4. 2, no-brainers. Your first 2, no-brainer. Tackle, rush in. Got to have those in the modern-day NFL.
Critical positions.
Cookies, I'm going to allow you to sell me on Goff.
But not St. Brown.
Now, Goff, I get where you're going. Though Vegas doesn't think that highly of him, he works for you. He works for this team. This team's embraced him. This offense is about him. And you do get Ben Johnson for another year, because that was my biggest concern.
Right.
What if Ben Johnson leaves? You don't have to worry about it. It looks like Ben Johnson may be here for a while.
Could be.
The 4th one, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no on St. Brown. It's not because he wasn't everything that you said. It's not. I don't value the wide receiver position that high. I don't. And if you disagree, 248-539-9797. In order to take him down, you got to replace him with somebody. I'm going to replace him with somebody that I do think you got kind of a 1-of-1. Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta has to be that fourth pillar. Think about this. St. Brown, there's always going to be another young wide receiver coming up. But when it comes to the tight end position, we could name the 3 or 4 difference makers in the league. You have one difference maker. If we were talking Justin Jefferson, yes, you keep him on here. St. Brown is good. St. Brown can do all. He can block. He can make the catches. He's all about,
yards after the catch, too.
The work ethic on that man is phenomenal. But Sam Laporta is a unicorn. That tight end position that can not only block and catch and do so many things. You have your Travis Kelce. You have your George Kittle. You got your Mark Andrews. You have them here. And he's young. You keep him no matter what. Because when you look at these other teams, don't care what. Put it this way. On a Super Bowl run, Travis Kelce is in Brazil on the off week seeing his girlfriend. And you know what the Chiefs said? Nothing. Because they know how valuable he is. I take St. Brown out. I put Laporta in. Now Goff, I was ready to replace Goff with somebody. I think if you went 5, I would have added Branch. Because I think Branch is that other difference maker that you got, that hard-hitting safety who could also come up and play some nickel corner if you need him. He's that modern-day defensive back. He is somebody that no matter what, you franchise, you work it out, you talk to him, you go buy him a drink, but you do not let him leave the 3-1-3.
Lions had a great rookie class. Laporta, Branch, Gibbs. Now, the nice thing with Gibbs, you get the 5th-year option. You can tag him for a 6-year if you need to.
Yeah, but once again, as we talked before, running backs got a shelf life.
Right. That's why I didn't put him in there. Nothing against the player he is.
But that's why I said St. Brown, as much as I love him, if you're good, you can go find another wide receiver in the draft, and you could be able to replace him. It's why the Chiefs let Tyreek Hill go. And he was Tyreek Hill. Okay? And seriously, if you were on the playground and you had to choose between those two, most people are going to take Tyreek Hill if you're being honest. Chiefs said, no, you can go. And they won back-to-back Super Bowls without him. You know who they couldn't win one without? Travis Kelce.
In an ideal world, you keep everybody. You stagger all the deals. You rework the cap. It goes up. Your GM's a wizard. Everybody stays. The harsh reality in the NFL is you're right. The Chiefs did have to make a tough call, and Tyreek Hill wasn't part of their last 2 Super Bowls. Who are your core 4 for the Lions? 248-539-9797. George in Metamora, you're on 97.1.
Hey, Costa, how you doing, bud?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. First of all, Rico, I think you took most of what I wanted to say. I couldn't agree more. So you look at the last 4 teams, the Final 4 this year, all of them had an elite tight end. You had Kittle, Andrews, Laporta, and Kelce. I think that's more important. And I almost want to say, and I would love to hear some debate on this, is wide receiver going the way of running back to where you just don't pay that position? And I would take it one step further than Rico said. I think that includes Jefferson and Jamar Chase. We've seen Devontae Adams, who was like the best a couple of years ago, get traded. A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill. $25 million to Amon-Ra. I love him. He's a dog. But that's a defensive end in free agency. That's shoring up your defense. I think it's a waste. I don't want to say a waste of money, maybe a misuse of resources. I don't know if you're being a good steward if you are paying that much for that position. So Rico, all I got to say is touchdown black guy. You hit it. That's exactly.
No, thanks, George. I mean, when you look at what St. Brown brings to the team, it is one of those, he's good, but I mean, we kind of talked about his contract situation. If he front loads that thing, you can bring him back, because in a few years, the Lions are going to find out what it's like to be a high caliber playoff team that goes all the time, where every year you got to sit with the whiteboard and figure out who can we keep, who do we cut. For years past, it was just who wants to come to Detroit, you take them, you bring them in. But now the Lions are going to be in the we can't keep everybody. In the we can't keep everybody, I like your first 3. The Goff thing, the quarterback, I'm going to accept the quarterback cookies because a quarterback is hard to find. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of teams still trying. David's team, you're trying to find a quarterback. They have all the other pieces in place. you draft a rookie, but now you got to develop the rookie, and now you got to hope that it fits. And what if it doesn't? Then you're Chicago, and you took Fields, and it's not working out. And now we're at the top of the draft again. What are we gonna do? So I like that. You take the known, but Laporta. I got to take St. Brown out. I got to replace St. Brown with Laporta.
Okay, I mean, some of this is Laporta's not going to be up for another 3 years. St. Brown's got a year left on his deal, but you do have to start allocating who the dudes are. To me, St. Brown is...
You said the core, though.
Yeah,
the four people that you have to build around?
I think St. Brown is part of that core. I do.
I don't.
I think for all the intangibles and the tangibles, and we can go yard for yard with just about anybody in the NFL. He's as dependable and reliable a receiver as there is.
Receivers they're easier to get to. There's
not a lot of guys like St. Brown. There's not. I mean, okay.
What makes him this special?
Well, again, you're going to say he's not 6'5" and he doesn't run a 4.3 40. I'm going to tell you, he produces anyway. He gets open in man coverage and zone coverage. He catches the ball in the underneath routes on the gotta-have-it third downs. He runs for yards after the catch. He's a good red zone option. And then all the other stuff culturally. We talk about grit and the mentality and leadership and building around. The pillar can't just be a good player. He has to be a person that you build around.
Every team has their St. Brown. That guy that they're thinking that like, oh my God, you got this guy and he's good and he's good. And it's like, no, I look at Brandon Ayuk. Everything that you said, that's Ayuk. And guess what? Not paying him. I wouldn't pay him. If I'm John Lynch, sorry.
Yeah, but you got a Debo and an Ayuk and a Kittle and.
I wouldn't have paid Debo. Like, there's certain positions where you don't break the bank. That's one where I can go out and find somebody. We talk about in the blitz. All of a sudden, the Packers go out and look at their receivers. They went out and found guys. Didn't need top picks for that. I get what you're saying. I do. I'm taking Laporta over St. Brown.
All right. 97-1.